Okay, so, if you follow me on Twitter, then you know two things right out the gate. One, you know that I took last week off because, well, it was the Olympics. I really like the Olympics. It's probably one of the highlights of that fourth summer, you know? It's got women's gymnastics, it's probably got other things. So yeah, I took a week off and I mostly spent a lot of my time just binge watching the Olympics. I mean, it's not like anything huge was going to come out, which then brings me to part two. I held a poll on Twitter because, wouldn't you know it, something big came out during the Olympics. Specifically, Kevin Smith's rendition of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Also, something else came out that caught my attention. It wasn't on Netflix, and I thought about doing a review of it next Monday, but I might be going to see Suicide Squad on this upcoming weekend, so I decided to hold a poll, and while you probably already know how the poll went over there because you're watching this in the future, as I am recording this, I haven't seen how the poll went, so we are going to take a quick look here. Okay, here we are, there's the poll. Really? I don't know what I find more surprising. The fact that only one person voted, or the fact that you actually voted for Jellystone. Alright, we're talking about Jellystone this week, as voted on by one viewer. Really, guy? I mean, I don't want to deny the fans what they voted for, but like, really? And I know I put it on the poll. I didn't think it was going to win, though. I thought for sure Masters of the Universe was going to win, because it's just such a more interesting topic, you know? I mean, all the melodrama between Kevin Smith and the countless amounts of basement dwellers who are angry at him for what he put on the air, you know? And, you know, I'm approaching this entire thing from the perspective of someone who, honestly, never liked He-Man in the first place, you know? And that should make for an interesting review, right? You know, somebody watching a He-Man thing, despite the fact he knows fuck all about He-Man. Really? We're talking about Jellystone, though? Really? You wanted Jellystone. Okay, we'll talk about Jellystone. Guess we can do He-Man on Friday. Jellystone is basically taking the idea that the Looney Tunes show did a decade prior and giving a series of random cartoon characters from various animated shorts from back in the day their own little city, giving them all jobs, giving them all lives. You know, hilarity ensues from the fact they're all fucking cartoony as shit, you know. Just bouncing all over the place. Right out the gate, the show has so much working against it for me personally. In large part, I was just a bigger fan of Looney Tunes stuff than I ever was of the Hanna-Barberra shorts. Like, I don't hate Hanna-Barbera in general, but I genuinely didn't like stuff like Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound. Like, I think at absolute most, I liked El Kabong, and that was basically it. It also kind of doesn't work in their case that, like, the Looney Tunes show was genuinely, like, not counting commercials, basically a half-hour program, you know. So they had time to flush out characters, they had time to tell a story, they had time to, like, let the humor speak for itself, you know. Everything was very subdued in the Looney Tunes show, but it was subdued in a good way, you know. Things felt like they came at a much more natural pace, whereas Jellystone decides to do the thing where they take two 11-minute shorts and cram them together and put a shit ton of commercials in between, I guess. I'm watching it on HBO Max, so I don't know for sure. And it kind of works at the show's detriment in that round, because everything feels like it is just moving at breakneck speed to the point where it's like, I mean, I could keep up with what's going on, but I feel like it suffers from a problem that a lot of shows have had in the last 10 years or so, where it's just bam, 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 joke, 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 joke. You know, just throwing jokes at you at rapid pace. Like, it's hard to keep up, you know? I could make the comment on how I feel stupid for watching this because I'm watching something that's clearly intended for kids, and here I am in my 30s. Hey, speaking of Masters of the Universe. However, the show is technically rated TVG, which basically means it's for everybody, so fine, whatever. I'll just lean on that as an excuse. And to the show's credit, it does have a couple of jokes that maybe appeal more to adults, like Boo Boo coming out of the operating room and commenting, "Well, I never realized how much blood was in a body. I sure hope I put all the organs in the right places." That was funny to me, and that was pretty... But for the most part, I feel like this show was aimed at a younger demographic, and maybe they would get more out of it as a result. Barring that, I'm pretty sure they were aiming more at Gen Z than they were at my old millennial ass, because... Hunky boy. Really? This is how you people talk now? Hunky boy? I gotta put that down right there with sus and cringe and sketch. Look, Gen Z, I love you guys, you know, I don't want to start a war over here, and you can make fun of my generation defining their entire personality by Harry Potter books and all that, and I'll probably laugh along with you, because I fucking hated Harry Potter. I was more into Wheel of Time at that point, but... I swear to God, you people talk like babies. Hunky boy, really? Okay, minor rant over, back to the review. I watched about 3 episodes of this show, and honestly, that was about 2 more than I needed, because holy hell, this show is an ordeal. I found it kind of interesting that they gender swapped a couple of the characters, so Augie Doggy is now a girl, and Doggy Daddy is obsessed with his daughter as opposed to his son. I imagine they did it that way because it seems a little less creepy or something for Doggy Daddy to be way too proud of his daughter as opposed to way too proud of his son. Really, though, the one that surprises me the most is Jabberjaw. I mean, they made Jabberjaw a girl character, and I think whoever is voicing Jabberjaw is trying their best to do their best Ron Funches impression, which I find hilarious because Ron Funches voices Shark King on Harley Quinn. And maybe they really wanted Ron Funches, but he couldn't break away, so they got some random person. They're like, okay, do your best Ron Funches impression. The fact that you're a girl doesn't factor in. We'll fix it in post or something. Maybe making Jabberjaw sound like Curly from the Three Stooges wouldn't be relevant for all these Gen Z types with all their cringe and their sus and whatnot, but I don't know. It's just, that seems like one of the weirder decisions. Like, not even weird, just flat out unnecessary. Overall, if you have kids and you want to sit them in front of the TV for a while and let them watch something mindless and dumb, that's probably what this is good for. If you're an adult, I don't know, maybe if you have an attachment to Hanna-Barberra, you'll get something out of it, but from where I'm sitting, I really didn't like this. This is yet another moment where I find myself regretting the fact that I don't have half hats in my system, because I'm going to have to regrettably give this 1 hat out of 4.